Good afternoon, everyone. I think after lots of inputs to you, I'm here to bring some change into the morning routine of yours. I'm going to talk about start the change to move up. All of us, we struggle often with lots of mundane routines, but definitely we all need to change, and that change comes automatically to us. Who I am? I'm Rajiv Bajaj. I'm founder of Bajaj and Bajaj Corporate Chambers. I have been working in this space for almost 5 years now, and prior to that, I was into corporate side. So basically, I'm going to talk about the change and what we need to learn from it. As we know, change is inevitable. Change is something which we all have to live with. Change is always trying to, force us to do certain things in a way where we have to, crack the new code for us every day. You guys are technical guys. You must be dealing with lots of codes, and that is where we all need to focus on. Now, how do we navigate the change? We need to actually lead ourselves to understand what is in store for us, and then accordingly always modulate our work environment, modulate our work culture. Also try to do something new every day. There was talk about innovation. So I think we all need to innovate in our day-to-day life, and that is what I am going to talk about today. Let me share my personal story with all of you. I started my journey way back in 1992. When I qualified as a company secretary, the life was good. I landed into a cushy corporate job, but I was not very happy with what I was doing. So suddenly, the opportunity to become a merchant banker came my way, and I was handling IPOs in any case. So I jumped into that. It was a very flashy life. But then came the stock market crash way back in 1995. Mr. Harshad Mehta did his job, and he took away lots of jobs. And that is where I had to change a track. So from those cushy days, I came back to the wealth management and some other areas, and that is how we have to change constantly. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. Then 1998, I joined a MNC company. Again, life became more structured. Uh, multinationals are very professional. You need to follow the operational guidelines of theirs. So I was doing my bit. And in 2020, I took a plunge and started on my own. I started this venture, Bajaj and Bajaj Corporate Chambers, where I work with a lot of startups, a lot of young minds, young entrepreneurs, and it was my time to give back to the society what I learned all these years. And that's what I'm doing all these days. So every stage, I had no idea what is going to come next, but I navigated my way through. And let me tell you, change is always something which brings you lots of happiness. It brings you a lot of satisfaction. It brings you a lot of innovative thoughts. So change is not something to fear. It is for something to embrace. And we must not be wary of change. We should be very happy that I got this opportunity to change. So let's, be very clear that change is bound to happen. You cannot follow the same track, same day, every day, every week. So this is a famous quote from Peter Drucker, and he said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. And I think all of us, when we are actually working, we are creating future for ourselves. All of you, you have lots of dreams in your eyes, but those dreams can become reality once you start implementing those dreams, when you start actually, implementing your thoughts. And that's why I chose to discuss this subject today, because I think this is a very important aspect for you. Now, let me take you a real life scenario. And this is a story about a client of mine, a company which was going through a change management process. And let us understand, change management is a very structured approach these days. This is not something we are talking in here. This is something which you all have to go through. This is a company which was going through lots of upheavals, and my friend, who's a CEO, he joined that company, and from the day one, he was facing lots of structural issues because of the competition, because of technology which is evolving around the company, and they didn't know how to handle the change. So he asked me what is the best way to deal with this situation. And here is the solution which I, uh, shared with him. He noticed that the company has been following certain processes, certain structures for a very long time. And people there are very comfortable doing it. And it is very difficult to bring people out of their comfort zone. Because when they are very comfortable, they don't want to change. And that is what I actually shared with him, that, just implement the theory of change, and let's understand what the theory is all about. Now, first step is to create a vision for change. You must understand that people who have to be actually involved in the change management project, they need to be taught, they need to be encouraged that how they should actually visualize and what will happen once they start implementing the change. And that is where I think when you are handling a change management project, you must create a vision for change. You must create a situation that people start understanding what change is all about. And also, you know, you need to bring some excitement and ownership about the change management project you are talking about. So try and talk what this project is all about with the team. Try and involve them. Try and actually, give them the ideas. So it's not about changing the process, it's about changing the mindset and the attitude. So you need to work on the mindset and attitude of the people who are actually trying to change. My client realized that, oh, these things are working. He was very excited. And, you know, so we all must understand why behind the change. Because if you yourself first understand the why behind the change and you convey that why to the people who are involved in that project, I think that will do the trick. So I just want to quote here from Simon Singh. You all know he was a very renowned management guru, and he said people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, and what that simply proves that you have to actually deliver the things. So that is what I think we all need to understand, the importance of people and emotions, because you need to involve people. You need to actually understand their emotions, how they are feeling about the change which we are trying to implement. And once you have cracked that code, you will automatically be able to efficiently deliver the change, and you will be able to actually give them that kind of understanding of the project itself. So let us understand change is hard to implement, but people are very naturally resistant to it. So the next step is, you know, because they always feel I'll lose my job if the workload is not there, what I'll do, and all those things are there. But you have to see it differently. You have to show them that this is an opportunity for you. This is a code you have to crack, and that is where they always have these questions in mind. What if I fail? What if I lose everything about what I have worked for? But you have to tell them, don't worry about it. This is what you are going to gain and that is how you can effectively manage the change management project, and that is how you can effectively actually deliver and encourage people to deliver a perfect change. So the second most important step is overcoming resistance. And resistance is definitely going to be there. Don't expect that people will not resist to the change. They will actually resist to the change, but show it to them that eventually it is going to be their will and their for their betterment, and they will definitely become part of the change and will start advocating it. So I think resistance is because of what? Fear. And that fear has to be taken out. That fear has to be changed into an opportunity. So with engagement to resistance, it will not disappear overnight. We all have to work towards it. So I think we need to work on how things are going to, be for them maybe a few years down the line, or what the change is going to be, going to do for them. So the third step is role of communication. I think we all need to communicate. If you want to implement a change management project, you have to communicate things very, very properly. Be regular, be clear, and foster instant communication with the people you are working on. Don't send emails, don't just paste notices, and don't just be very unstructured about communicating emotionally with them, because you have to actually maybe call a town hall meeting, call a briefing session, and some questions will definitely come. So when the questions will come, you try to convey and talk it out with them, and try to handle their question. Because if some employee wants to raise a question, their question should be properly answered. They have to be actually told what is the importance of the change which we are, trying to implement. So the key takeaway is change can't be implemented in silence. It is about listening, addressing concerns, and making people feel heard. So I think all of us, we must understand that change management is something which is a very structured activity of management. So it's not easy. It's has to be done with perfection, and it is for real. So I think all of us, we must understand that how the big transformation, big projects can be handled perfectly through the change management. And the third and the last step, fourth step, is reinforcement of the change. So you need to train your people. You need to train people to actually reinforce the change, and also implement the training programs for your employees or the people or your team members who are working for you. And that is how you can create a feedback loop. You can create a situation where they start appreciating what you have been trying to do. And that is where I think in the story which I was sharing with you, the CEO got this feedback from the senior manager, and he said, I never thought I'll say this, but I'm glad we made the changes, and this opened a new lifestyle for me. So I think once you start implementing the change, you start getting these kind of feedback from the people who are around you, and that is where I think you need to make people embrace the change. And you need to actually so change is not something that happens to you. It is something you create, something you lead, and something you live. So that's the message I wanted to give to you. uh, don't be afraid of change, don't be scared of change, and always try to, because you can actually hone up your leadership skills, you can hone up your overall controls which you are doing. And no technical guy. I'll work with lots of techies who are startup founders. They are sometimes thinking in a very focused way. They don't look at 360-degree view of the whole thing. So try and expand your horizon. Always be open to change and always be open to learn new things and work on your leadership style. That's the message I wanted to give to all of you. Thank you very much for your time.